If you keep telling yourself, I just need more discipline every time you fall off your workout plan or healthy habits, I'm going to tell you very lovingly that that is not your problem. And I need to tell you from my own personal experience, as well as the women that I've worked with in my office, that your discipline is actually not your problem. It's actually your brain's management system. We call these executive functioning skills. And I never hear anybody talk about this, especially in the realm of weight loss and healthy living. But I genuinely believe that if you understood how your brain's management system works in a very simplistic way, we're going to keep it super simple today, then you would be able to not only change your fitness, but also change your entire life. And I know that's a big statement, but I genuinely mean it. And so today I'm going to walk you through those 12 brain skills that control both your workout consistency and your weight loss and your healthy habits. And so once you see these in real life, I genuinely think it has the impact to change your life. So let's get into it. I'm Alexandria. I'm a licensed counselor, and I'm also a total gym rat who's lost over 40 pounds naturally in a realistic and non extreme way, even after years of feeling like a failure at every perfect program. Executive functioning is just a fancy term for your brain's management system. These are the skills that help you plan, start, and stick to things. And your brain is trying to do that all while juggling work, kids, aging parents, hormones, group chats, just the mental load of, well, everything. Often, why when you see people online giving you tips and tricks that work for them, they don't work for you because your executive functioning strengths might be different than their strengths, and your executive functioning challenges might be different than theirs. For example, mine are mainly flexibility, emotional control, and also a little bit of organization. But most of the fitness content creators don't talk about this. They just sort of assume we're all a blank slate, but we're not going to do that here. So instead of asking yourself what's wrong with me, I want you to start asking yourself which brain skills are hardest for me right now. To make it really simple, like I said, I'm going to put these 12 skills into three different buckets today, okay? The first bucket is the planning bucket, and these are the skills that help you decide what to do and when. So bucket two is the do it bucket, and these are the ones that help you actually get off the couch and get into action. And then bucket three are the stick with it ones. These are the skills that help you get going even when life gets messy or crazy and the progress feels slow. And then if you want a deeper dive on any of these three buckets, we can do those in a separate video. As you go through, notice what hits you in the gut. And these are your starting. Okay, one is plan. If planet skills are hard for you, then you kind of live in that I'll start Monday land, okay? The first skill is planning and prioritizing, and this is choosing what matters most and when to do it. So in fitness, this looks like you opening up YouTube, you see 20 different workouts to choose from, HIIT, Pilates, strength, dance, and you spend so long comparing them that you never actually press play on any of them. I used to call this my research, but what I was really doing was avoiding committing to anything for fear that I was getting it wrong. The analysis paralysis. And the tiny fix here is that you decide once per week. You take 5 minutes, maybe on a Sunday, and you pick your whole workouts for the week and you don't second guess it, or better yet, you just pick a program and stick with it for at least 4 weeks, even if it's a 1 week program that you complete for 4 weeks in a row. Just pick a program that's valid and start. Our second skill in this bucket is organization. And this is putting your environment and steps in order that in a way that makes sense. And healthy living version of this might be your kitchen being in chaos, or your gym clothes being buried, or your dumbbells that are under your bed so you can't even find them when it's time to work out. So every workout feels like a treasure hunt for your dumbbells, or a healthy meal also feeling like a treasure hunt. So of course you end up defaulting to takeout or maybe even the couch. And then the third skill in this bucket is time management. And this is just knowing how long things actually take. So you plan a 45-minute workout, but there's actually only 20 minutes between the time you drop your kid off at school and when you need to leave to get ready for work. And so instead of doing 20 minutes, you just skip it entirely because there's no point. And if this is you, your workout needs to fit in real life, not just your fantasy life. A 20-minute walk or strength training session is, in fact, better than nothing, and it absolutely does count. Our fourth skill in this bucket is working memory, and this is your ability to hold the plan long enough to actually do something with it. You make this beautiful color coded plan on Sunday, and then by Wednesday, you're like, wait, what was I supposed to do with that today? And just a quick reality check for you, because if you're nodding along with this and thinking, yeah, these sound a lot like me, then you don't have a motivation problem. You have a planning and a systems problem, and those things are very different. and also very fixable. Okay. We can train our executive functioning skills. So, the bucket level fix for the planet is to just decide once a week what you're going to do from a nutrition standpoint and what you're going to do from a workout standpoint. Write it down, put on your phone screen, your fridge, your bathroom, it doesn't matter, wherever. So you'll see it and then just commit to it without changing the plan. Now, take a second and ask yourself, is this my main issue that I never have a simple plan that actually fits in my life? If yes, then you don't need a new workout program yet. You need a better planning system for the ones you already like. Okay, now let's talk about the part where you actually, do the thing. And this is our do it bucket. The do it skills are why you can plan the perfect week and then still not press play. The first skill is response inhibition. And this is just the tiny pause between I feel the urge and I act on it. In real life, you walk past the pantry after a stressful day and your hand is in the chip bag before you even realize what's happened. Or you sit down 4 or 5 minutes on the couch and then you open Instagram and then suddenly 40 minutes of your life have in fact disappeared. The second skill is what we call task initiation. And this is just your ability to start without a 2 hour internal debate with yourself. Okay. So you told yourself, I'm going to work out at 6. And at 5:55, your brain starts going, I'm tired. Maybe tomorrow. There's a better show that's on and I'll start tomorrow. And then suddenly it's 7:30 and you're in your PJs, which is not what you had in your plan. And I can't tell you how many times I did this. I sat in my sports bra on the couch and just sort of stared off into space, like hoping I could will myself onto like the floor to work out. And our third skill is sustained attention. And this is just staying with the thing that you started. This looks like starting a 45-minute workout, but then about 10 or 15 minutes into the workout, deciding that you're bored with this one and you'd rather do something else because you see your phone light up or, the next thing you know, you're just kind of sitting on the couch mid scroll or mid mat and you never actually finished that set. And another piece of this bucket is what we call stress tolerance in the moment. This is your legs burn a little on workout, your heart rate goes up on a walk, or you feel a little awkward and your brain screams, abort mission. So you stop early and your brain learns, see, we can't handle this after all. If you see yourself in here, listen closely. Your problem isn't that you're lazy. Your problem is that your brain hates friction. I was definitely an abort mission early on when I would get sweaty. It would freak me out. It's a scary thing. I know. But the bucket level fix for us do-iters is to make your habits like laughably, and I mean laughably small and stupid easy. So putting your shoes by the door at your workout time, your only job is to put your shoes on and press play for 5 minutes. And then after 5 minutes, if you don't want to do it anymore, then you're allowed to stop. But most of the time, you won't. If you're watching this thinking, oh my gosh, starting is the whole issue for me, I want you to comment starting down below because I want to know so I can make a full video on just task initiation and those pause the urge tricks. So now let's talk about the skills that decide whether you're going to quit every time that life gets messy. These are the stick with it skills, and these are the ones that keep you going for months, not just for 4 perfect days, okay? First, the skill of emotional control. And this is managing your feelings so they don't run the entire show. You step on the scale and it's up 2 pounds, and instantly it's like, what's the point? Why do I keep doing this? I knew this would never work. And now you're at the drive thru at Wendy's eating a cheeseburger. When I was losing 40 pounds, there were definitely days that I would step on the scale or get really frustrated with myself, and then I would want to quit everything. But that is just your first instinct, and your instinct is not always correct. The second is flexibility, and this is your ability to adjust the plan without throwing it out. And this is especially hard for those of us with like extremely busy lives and kids. Kids have taught me flexibility, honestly, more than anything else has, because your kids get sick. You work late, you miss your planned workout, and your brain goes, well, this week's ruined. I'll start again on Monday. And then one missed day turns into like 10 mistakes. And then the third skill is goal directed persistence. And this ties a lot of them into each other, but this is staying with a goal when it's boring or slow. But this ties a lot of them together. This is you start a program, you don't see dramatic changes, and then in 3 weeks, instead of just staying the course, you hop to the next shiny new program. New program, but same pattern. The fourth is metacognition, and this is noticing how you think and making adjustments on purpose. So instead of asking what actually worked for me this week, you just say, well, I failed. And then you try the same exact strategy again, even though it didn't fit in your life the first time. And then again, we've got stress tolerance, but now it's just in your life, not just your workouts. This is your boss sends you a nasty email, your partner's being snappy, you're exhausted, and suddenly you're stress eating in the kitchen. and planning a walk is gone. If any of these are ringing as alarm bells to you, then I want to give you a reframe, okay? You don't need to be perfect. You need a plan B. I only started making progress when I stopped trying to be the A+ student of fitness. That's perfectionist to me. And I let myself be a solid B student who showed up most of the time, okay? Bucket level fixes for the stick with it is to always have a backup plan that counts. If the 30-minute workout falls through, or doesn't happen, then a 10-minute walk still counts. If dinner is chaotic or you can't eat the way you hope to, then you just grab a piece of fruit and some protein and it still counts. Measure yourself by your actions and by showing up, not just what's on the scale or what you think is the perfect progress. So if you recognize yourself in any of these, nothing is wrong with you, I promise. You don't have a character flaw, you have a brain that's managing a lot, and the fitness world keeps yelling discipline at you instead of teaching you how to use your brain in a way that will actually work for you. And when you understand these 12 skills, you can say to yourself, oh, wait, that's a planning and time management issue. That's a flexibility issue. That's a task initiation issue, not I suck. Because all of those are things that you can design habits around to help them fit in your brain and in your life. And that can change everything about how you approach weight loss and healthy living. I still use these same skills, not because I'm weak, but because that's how the human brain works. So I want to hear from you. Which one or two of these skills felt the most like you? Is it planning? Is it the starting? Is it handling emotional control? Or is it something else? Tell me in a comment because I want to make the most common ones into a full step-by-step video walking you through the more fine-tuned skills because this was just a big picture video. So if you're done with extreme programs and you want realistic, sustainable fitness that actually fits in your life, make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already. And until next time.